Hello, and welcome to Energize Your Life with a PLN. My name is Stephanie Howe, and
It's me. It's me. It's the A, B, I, and the D.
we've got Avid. So we are going to be talking about how to energize your life and have a PLN. What is PLN though, Avid? Do you know?
PLN is a personal learning network. I know a lot of people actually say it's a professional learning network, but I think from what you'll learn today, you'll see why I prefer it to be a personal learning network.
Okay, so yeah, let's find out a little bit more. And you're probably like, well, PLN, friends, they've got to be in the same state. But look at where Avid and I live. There's a whole ocean in between us. And a time difference, which don't even get us started with time zones. But you don't have to be in the same state with someone to be a part of their PLN. And you want to talk about our story, Abid?
Yeah. Stephanie, you were part of the Google Certified Innovator cohort for Sydney 19.
The best cohort ever.
We'll get to that bit. That was when May 2019, wasn't it? And I think it was a few days after your cohort ended that our London 19 cohort got announced. And so I was part of the London 19 cohort, which happened in July 2019. And then I think just after our cohort, and you guys were still on the high from Sydney 19, and we were just messing around on Twitter. And I think it was Mark Wagner put the host challenge on Twitter, where he talked about the hosts doing a particular challenge at the start of the academy. And we talked about how our host, Dean Stokes, was the most awesome host. And then these folks from that Sydney 19 place come about and said, no, their host was better. And it was like, what are you guys talking about? And then what was it? We started talking about some of the stuff we were doing, and then somehow we ended up having a dance off,
somehow with Galen dancing.
Yeah, on Twitter in the middle of the night, and I think through all the fun and the banter and all of that stuff, I think that is where that's where the spark and the connection and the PLN really kicked off. And I think both yours and I, our competitive sides definitely came out, and I think that's how we connected. And was it 2 years on? We're still 3 years on. Actually, we're still here today.
Enemies.
Still ripping each other's hairs out and all that. But yeah.
And so kind of with Avid's story is building that connection. You can do it through Twitter. You can do it through TikTok. It was sending those dance offs and then sending a DM after the fact and connecting with somebody where you were able to grow and become friends with them. So think about how can you build your PLN and why do you need a PLN? First off, it's that perspective. There are times where Avid has been like, did you see that side of this view? And I'm like, no, I was only on Stephanie's side of the view. So really taking and looking at different perspectives and different like religions too, just throughout our groups. There, we have some people in Global GEG that might be Jewish or Muslim or whatever. And so just having even that viewpoint of why students might be really hungry during Ramadan because they're fasting, and just having someone that you're able to ask these really in-depth questions to and get that perspective from them can be helpful. So reach out and build that perspective with them. Also, having a global audience. You're able to reach out and, again, talk to people from around the world. You get to learn about Vegemite and some other fun, different foods that are around the world. And when life gets hard, you have those people to help you pick you back up. All right, Abby, you talk about the selfies.
I don't do selfies. Everyone knows I'm a really shy guy. No, I'm just kidding. No, selfies definitely. I think if you've come across me on Twitter, you'll see I am the self-proclaimed selfie king. And I think that it's just an amazing way to build your PLN and to make those connections. And uh, through, thankfully, we are coming back to some form of normality and getting back to in-person conferences again and things like that. And I think the selfie bit has been really, really such a great icebreaker. Finally meeting people who we've been working with virtually through the pandemic, and then meeting them in person, and then taking that selfie and then sharing it amongst your wider PLN and your groups, and it just gives everyone that feel good factor, and I think it's a real great icebreaker on how to meet new people and then get that networking and help you to build that PLN.
And then just giving feedback and hearing back from one another. Hey, is this a good idea or is this a really bad idea? And just hearing and being a thought partner for each other. And then direction. When you get lost, you can kind of say, I don't know. Do I apply for this position? Do I not? And when you're trying to figure out your life, you can help and get some of that direction, or what next steps need to go in your district, or what next things do you need to do in your classroom. You're able to get that direction from a friend that is able to listen to you without judgment and can totally understand where you're coming from. So thank you so much for joining us for our quick demo of what it's like to be a PLN, but we definitely want you to reach out to us. So if you have questions or you want to make the connection, feel free to send us a DM or tag us on Twitter. And we would love to connect, and hopefully we see you in person at ISTE 2022.